Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm sorry I didn't show up yesterday. And it's funny, when I started these videos, I wanted to show up every day. And because when I show up and make videos, I'm showing up for me. And what I didn't realize is that some days, like yesterday, my ego kicked my butt and I was out. And I knew that I needed to show up for me in a different way, and that was to go within. And I was like shut off from the world, and I just could not show up on video. So I'm sure you can understand these awakenings. When you're awake, it's things, who you are, and but it doesn't mean that it's bliss throughout. It is a journey, and the your emotions are fleeting, your days are fleeting, you know some days it's mostly I'm in thriving most of my days, and then you have one of those days that just like your ego takes over, and I had to work some stuff through, so I did, and I'm back today. So, yes, today I want to talk about something that affects our emotions, our energy, our intuition, how we make decisions, and that's our nervous system. If our nervous system is off, we're constantly in fight or flight, overwhelmed, overstimulated, carrying stress that we haven't processed. And that's what I was doing yesterday. I was processing. And when your nervous system is affected, it's so hard to feel connected or guided. So, the state of our nervous system affects how we create our life. Like, I can't even imagine having more of those days than the thriving days that I have. So, I'm really happy that there are tools out there. So, I wanted to go back to the spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening just means that you figured out that you're a soul having a human experience, and you have all this power you didn't know you had. That's spiritual awakening, which is quite beautiful because, like, when you figure that out, you're like, okay, wow, I've got it all figured out. The feeling you get when you have a spiritual awakening is beautiful, intense, and absolutely temporary. Because now you got to navigate with an ego that you know is lying to you. You're trying to shut it down to let you connect with your true self. You're trying to let go a part of you that doesn't want to let go. So you know the truth of you, and your ego is so programmed to keep you safe that it tries harder because it knows it's dying off. A part of you is dying. And I'm telling you, it's not blissful. What's blissful is when you can pull away from your ego and come back to you, the part without the ego, and be calm. You regain you. And do you know how many times that happens during the day? Thousands of times. Because our brains are always going, always going. So let me just say, you're going to need some tools to navigate that. So, what's the most accessible thing you have with you all the time? Your breath. Of course, you knew that. One of my favorite techniques is the Wim Hof breathing method. If you haven't heard of it or tried it, man, you got to try it. I I started using it years ago because I wanted a way to bring my body and energy back to balance. Your nervous system, which is like your ego, I would say they're attached because your ego is always in fight or flight. It's always scanning your environment, trying to see if you're safe or threatened. When we're stressed, anxious, or like living on autopilot, our bodies tend to stay in that survival mode. And you don't even realize it. Your breath becomes shallow. Your mind is it's too busy. Your intuition gets quiet because at that point we're just not in a receptive mode. So breath work, especially something rhythmic like the Wim Hof technique, it interrupts the stress cycle. It sends a signal to the body that it's safe to slow down. And then when the body feels safe, everything changes. Your mind relaxes, your heart opens, your energy starts to flow. So, just to give you an example of the Wim Hof method, you're taking repetitive, like 30 to 40 deep breaths. That fully oxygenates your body. Then you hold that breath for a period of time. It's about like a minute in the first, there's like three different stages. In the first stage, you hold your breath for about a minute. And then on the second one, you do it for a minute and 30 seconds. I know it sounds like a lot, but you'd be surprised actually as to what you're capable of doing. So, and then the third, same, a minute and 30. And this, it resets your nervous system. It's like telling your body, you can let go now. You don't need to fight anything. You're safe. So, this helps regulate your stress. And it also brings you into the present moment. It pulls your awareness out of the past, out of the future, and back into the present moment, into the now, where your intuition actually lives. I'm going to kind of jump back here because talking about like the present moment and into the now. If you haven't read or listened to Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, again, highly suggest you do that. Talks about the present moment, how important it is, how to do it, how to be more aware of now, the benefits. It's please go and read or listen to the audiobook. It is fabulous. More awakening tools. So, also, I wanted to say that, yeah, it gets you out of the past and out of the future, but I don't want to say that being in the future, thinking of the future, of your desires, seeing yourself, picturing yourself in the future, there's a time and place to do that, and I do this. It's not projecting, but I'm imagining my life in a different way. There's a time for you to do that. And it's when you're taking time to yourself. You're sitting on the couch and you're just daydreaming. You're not doing anything. You're not doing the dishes. You're not actually physically doing anything. If you're just sitting, dream away. That is a benefit, absolutely, to be doing that. Now, if you're thinking of your past, I would highly, highly discourage that. There's nothing in your past that can help you. Every tool that you've learned, you're doing it. You don't need to learn how to walk or drive. You've learned it. You don't need to think about it. It's automatic. A lot of the things that you've learned in the past that you're using now are automatic. You don't need to think of the past. That's your ego. Trust me, your ego takes care of all of that stuff. And we're trying to get out of that because we want to create new. We don't want to create the past over and over again. And that's what your ego does. It can only create what it knows what to do. And when you're in the now, it clears your mind. When you regulate your stress, you're clearing your mind. You're allowing new to come in, not old ego patterns. It's to clear that. So when you're breathing deeply, consciously, you're not just moving air, you're moving energy. You're expanding your light. You're reconnecting with yourself. And for anybody on a spiritual journey, especially if you're awakening, you have to regulate your nervous system and breathing because you're learning to trust your intuition. That is a challenge in itself. Trust, faith that you're following the proper flow, movement, direction. So regulating your nervous system is a must, and a very powerful thing to do because your soul communicates through calm, not chaos. So if you've been feeling all those things, anxious things, gift yourself a few minutes a day to breathe consciously. Now, if you're doing the Wim Hof method, it's 11 minutes. So you put that time aside. And even if it's not the Wim Hof method, your breath is right here. It's it's always right here, ready for you. Always throughout the day, anytime. And make that noise. Make that like relief sound and smile. Feel your heart expand. It's like a little excitement feeling in your chest. Oh, relief falling into your heart. You're opening your heart. And it's like a release. So the more you regulate your nervous system, the more your energy balances, the more aligned you feel. And the easier it becomes to create the life you actually want. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm going to leave the link for the Wim Hof breathing technique in the description. As you know, I highly recommend When I've done it, when you take the deep breaths and then you exhale and you pause and hold that, you're really inside of your body and you feel the buzzing sensation throughout your whole body and you feel your heartbeat. You feel the blood rushing through your body. Just do it. It's, you feel alive. It's amazing. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.